Why, hello, everybody, and welcome to the Truly Odd Podcast, where we bring you the latest in game news and movie news. I am your host, Joe Garcia. So grab your controllers, get your popcorn, and let's go ahead and dive right on in. Starting off with our video game news topics of the day, it looks like not only did we have a state of play for Ghost of Yotei the other day, but we also have now look at what we're going to be getting for a limited edition console bundle and accessories, which looks really awesome. I'm loving the art style for this. You know, seeing the black in this one, seeing the gold in this one. Me personally, I'm leaning more towards the gold one, but let me know what you guys think, which one interests you the most. And we have here, let's expand this so we can get a closer look at what these things are going to be looking like. This looks phenomenal, you know, whether you're getting the Pro or whatever. I just love the way that this design looks. I have a friend who collects controllers, so regardless, I'm sure he's not going to collect the console, but he will definitely be collecting probably both of these controllers. I'm very tempted to get both of them. They look so awesome. Just look at these. Look at this design. It's so cool. The gold one is just stands out so much more. But what do you guys think? Which one do you guys like the most? Oh, I didn't even notice that they were selling the plate separately, so you can put it on your old console or your non-limited edition console, which is really cool. That's very tempting for me, so I might end up having to get that. But what do you guys think? Do you enjoy this? Are you very excited for Ghost of Tsushima? So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next game news topic of the day. Just the other day, we spoke about how the game Anthem is going to be stopping service, I believe, in January, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they've already been set in stone that they're going to be canceling the game or discontinuing the game, however you want to pronounce it. But it looks like we now have a petition to keep the game going. This comes to us from Game Rant. I guess that we have a petition going around with over 700 signatures, but I did pull up the site. If you guys are interested in joining the petition, you can find it on change.org. And let me refresh the page so we can see where we're at. We're now sitting at 904 signatures. They're looking for 1,000 plus signatures. So if you guys are interested in signing a petition to keep Anthem around and continue to go ahead and it'll be in the description down below if you're interested. Me personally, I have no attachment to the game. I've never really played the game that much and I'm not very interested in it, so I'm not going to be signing this petition. But I think it's good that people in the community and of course excited to continue to play the game are supporting it, and hopefully they can get the amount of signatures they need and continue to get the support they need. And you know, if you were always interested in the game, I highly recommend you check it out now. That way you have the opportunity to play it before it's shut down. And if you do want to sign the petition so it keeps going, here's your opportunity. But yeah, what do you guys think? Are you sad to see Anthem go? Are you happy that people are petitioning for it to stay? Sadly, I believe even though it's nice to see petitions going to keep things up, if they don't have a lot of people playing the game, buying the DLC, buying the microtransactions, regardless of how many signatures are on a petition, it is not going to stay in play. But moving on to our next topic of the day for game news. If you have not heard, Subnautica has been delayed to 2026. They were going to have early access during 2025, but it seems like there has been a back end issue, and now there is a lawsuit going on with some of the previous leads of Subnautica and the newer leads of Subnautica too, or the newer what is it called, the publisher of Subnautica. So if you guys are interested in this whole story, go ahead. I have the article linked in the description down below, but I'm going to sum it up for you guys. So apparently the original CEO and stuff had a deal where they were going to get a 2.5 not $250 million bonus to the company if they were to release and make a certain figure. They were going to do a not a pre-release, what's it called, an early access release, so they can make that funding. And of course the publisher wanted to save money, so they decided to put in a new CEO and delay the Subnautica 2 to 2026 so they don't have to pay this bonus out. Now, I'm sure there's other back end issues where the team at Subnautica believed the game was ready for early access and the publisher did not believe it was. It seems like with a bonus of $250 million that, yeah, someone's going to have an issue with releasing game and paying a bonus like this. So right now, from the information we have, it's not looking good for the publisher. It does look like they delayed the game specifically for the bonus, but also it looks like maybe the CEOs that were there prior wanted to push the game out just for the bonuses. So it's up in the air what's going to happen. It's going to be a long legal battle with this team. So just out of curiosity, for you guys, are you even interested in Subnautica 2? I've never even played the first Subnautica, so I have no interest in this whatsoever. But it's very interesting to see how the dealings between a publisher and a studio can really butt heads when it comes to bonuses and stuff like that. So, it's very curious. I'm very curious to see what happens. Of course, we're having a he said, she said, he said, she said going back and forward right now. But once the lawsuit is set in stone, and hopefully it's not going to be settled out of court, so we get some details as to what actually happened on the back end. But does this interest you guys? Are you sad to see this happen to Subnautica 2 and it's delayed to 2026? Do you believe that the previous regime at Subnautica deserves their $250 million bonus? Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our fourth movie news topic of the day. It seems like we're going through these really quick. I guess it's just really quick stories. Not only that, but I'm the only one talking. So sometimes we just go through these stories really, really fast. But going on to our fourth game news topic of the day. It looks like the FBI has shut down a website that was pirating Nintendo Switch games. Now, I know nothing about this website prior to reading this article, but I don't know if they were just doing Switch games, pirating Switch games, or if they were doing classic retro games. I have no idea. But yeah, apparently the FBI has done a shutdown on this website, and now when you go to the website, you will be seeing well, I have it here in our opening page right here on the Switch. This website has been ceased with the FBI warning, kind of what you're seeing right there on the Nintendo Switch side of things. So yeah, they shut down the website completely, and I think this is. I have two minds about this. Of course, I don't think it's good to pirate games. The only time I would even be okay with pirating game is if they don't allow your country or whatever to have the game and you want to play it. So, for example, Helldivers 2, when they completely took it out of all those territories, I mean, you're not making it available for the people that want to play it to buy it, and they have no other means to play it other than pirating it, and that's your fault. That's the only time I would say it's a middle ground, it's a gray area, but that's the only time I'd be like, I understand. But another way I would think pirating games would be understandable, and again, a gray area, is if they, like, for example, Anthem, when they're going to be discontinuing it, and people want to continue to play it. People want to go play an old retro game that is no longer being published. You can't find it anywhere on any PlayStation, Xbox store, or even Steam, and you want to go and you want to get the emulator, get and play your old classic game. Then I feel like that's okay. Again, no gray area, but still, I feel like things like that are okay. So I don't know if this website was providing just Switch 2 games or classic games. If you guys know, let me know in the comments. But it's sad to see, people having to pirate games. It just shows that the industry is really high in price and stuff like that. So I'm happy that the FBI has cracked down on this because pirating is bad. Publishers need to make their money so they can continue to make games for players and for people that are interested in those games. But yeah, FBI crackdowns on this website. What do you guys think? Let me know. Moving on to our last game news topic of the day. This goes under the rumor mill. I'm not even sure if, excuse me, guys. I'm not even sure if this is a actual remake that's happening or if the rumor is just the supposedly non-multiplayer aspect of it. But it looks like Halo 1 remake might be missing a significant feature, and that feature would be the multiplayer aspect of Halo Combat Evolve. For me personally, I don't even know they were making a Halo Combat Evolve remake, which most likely will be coming to the PlayStation at some point, seeing as Xbox is releasing a lot of their games on PlayStation. Gears of War, for example, which will be coming out pretty soon. But it looks like they're going to be skipping the whole multiplayer aspect of this. And for me, while I'm sure a lot of fans of Halo are sad about it, I really don't mind this only because I more focus on the campaign when it comes to the original Halo games as opposed to the multiplayer. But one thing for sure I hope that they do include, this kind of worries me, is I want the co-op play. Because there's nothing more fun than sitting there with two to four players on co-op in Halo and going through the campaign and having a good time, putting it on legendary and just trying not to die. So I'm hoping that they keep that co-op aspect of the games continuing, but multiplayer is not a big deal for me. Hopefully this is not the case though, because multiplayer would be a lot of fun, especially if they're going to be introducing it to the PS5. PS5 players being able to play it for the first time. Now, I'm sure most PS5 players have played it on the original Xbox and the Xbox 360 and so on and so forth, but for those that are just strictly Sony based, strictly PlayStation, and refuse to play any Xbox games, this will be nice for them to first get their hands on it and play the multiplayer, play the campaign, play the co op, and then just go through the lore and everything that's included with the Halo Combat Evolved package. But let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Are you hoping that this rumor is not true, where we will be getting multiplayer for Halo Combat Evolved? Did you even know that they were making a remake of the Halo Combat Evolved? I had no idea they were doing this, so that's exciting to see. And I'm pretty sure, as I said before, this will be coming to the PS5. We will keep an eye out and to see where that goes further on in the within the year, and as it's going to be coming closer to a release, if it does have a release, and if it is being developed. But yeah, that does it for our game news topics of the day, guys. We're going to go ahead and move on to our movie news topics. And our first movie news topic of the day is regarding James Gunn's Superman. It looks like James Gunn is interested in developing two TV spin offs from the Superman movie. And those two characters, which I agree with, would be. Hold on, here we go. Mr. Terrific and Jimmy Olsen, which I think would be great TV spin-offs. If you have not seen Superman, minor spoilers here, so you might want to move to the next story. But Mr. Terrific is a great highlight scene. I think he, out of the whole Justice group that were there, he's kind of stood out the most. He had the most screen time, working alongside Superman and Lois and things like that in the movie. And he has a great highlight scene. You got to see this in the trailers where there's like a spherical bubble around, and he has a nice cool combat scene there, and that was filmed very interestingly. So I think his character would greatly benefit from a TV spinoff and would be very enjoyable to see how he handles things. Maybe one of his bad guys from the comic books, because I don't know a lot about Mr. Terrific as far as his superhero origins or any of his villains. So I think that'd be interesting to having a solo story regarding him. As far as Jimmy Olsen, while he doesn't have the whole superhero aspect of him, I think it could be a great reporter movie. Him trying to solve a crime, or him trying to get the reporter, so you could get a nice thriller going there with Jimmy Olsen. They introduce a very interesting aspect of Jimmy Olsen in this new DC Superman movie, where he is, again, spoilers if you're not interested, where where women are very attracted to him, and he's seems to be pulling a lot of the eyes of the ladies. So that aspect of him and his little side story in the movie was very interesting, and hopefully they can expand on his character. Maybe introduce interesting aspects of him. Have Clark Kent be in there. Have Lois Lane be in the TV show throughout his daily life, but not seeing Superman, stuff like that. So I think there's interesting places that you can go with Mr. Terrific or Jimmy Olsen for a TV show spinoff. Maybe have it short. A lot of the Marvel spin-offs are 6 episodes, so it'd be nice to have a 6-episode little Jimmy Olsen short, little 6-episode Mr. Terrific short, just to get to know these characters better. But what do you guys think? Would you be interested in spin-offs for these characters from the Superman for a Superman spin-off TV show? Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. So apparently there is a movie in development called Lone Wolf. It stars Bryan Cranston, and I always get her name wrong. Hold on. Lily Gladstone, right here. See Bryan Cranston, Lily Gladstone. But apparently there's issues with the production currently. While Lily Gladstone and Bryan Cranston have been paid as the stars, it looks like a lot of the crew members have not been paid. And it looks like the movie is $2 million behind, not behind budget, but missing about $2 million to pay the crew members who have worked on this film. Now, I'm not sure what the positions are. I think the film is currently in post-production, so some people, I think maybe during production didn't get paid, maybe people in post-production didn't get paid, but there's $2 million missing, and the producers are trying to look for funding to get that money. Now, of course, the stars of the movies have been paid because they have different contracts, and they usually get paid mostly somewhat upfront when it comes to developing movies like this. It all depends on the contracts that they sign and things like that. So yeah, they're currently trying to work on that, and I think that this film is not yet done. They have a couple other things to shoot with the main cast members, and they will not be able to get that done if the people have not been paid. So I think that's a bit crazy. It's very rare that we see something like this happening in the movie industry where people aren't being paid for work they have done. So we'll see what ends up happening here. I'm sure that maybe a new producer, someone will come in that is sees the dailies or sees what they have as far as the film is concerned and believes they can make money on the back end and will provide the funding for them to finish the film. But this is very interesting to see. I don't think there's a major studio backing this project, and that's probably another reason we're seeing issues with the payment up front. I think this is more of an independent film, from my understanding. Again, I may be mistaken, but let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Is it sad to see that people aren't being paid? Are you interested in even seeing this Lone Wolf movie, matter of fact? So let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like we got some casting announcements for Practical Magic 2. If you did not hear, they're in development of a Practical Magic 2. And of course, we had the typical Sandra Bullock and Nicole Kidman coming back, of course. But there was a lot of curiosity if we were going to be getting back Diane West, West, Diane West, and Stalker Chaining. Uh, Stockhard Chaining. Forgive me, guys. I'm bad with names. But it looks like we now have a confirmation that Diane Wesley from, if you don't know her, she's right here at the top left. She is in Edward Scissorhands. I believe she played the mom in that movie. And of course, we have Rizzo from Grease going to be returning from Practical Magic 1. They did great, phenomenal work in that movie, so it's happy to see them come back. And we have some other casting announcements with Lee Pace and some others. It looks like we also have oh my god, what's her name from Game of Thrones? Macy Williams from Game of Thrones. Blue Beetle guy. I can't. XOLO. I'm Hispanic and I forget what that pronounces, but he's going to be returning, and I don't know who this gentleman is. Soul McCall, the Dead Don't Hurt. I never seen that, so interesting to see these casting announcements. Exciting news for that. Now I'm curious if Macy Williams is going to be playing one of the daughters for Sandra Bullock or Nicole Kidman, all grown up now. So that's very curious how they're going to end up doing it, depending on when this takes place. If they're going to actually do it the exact amount of years later or not. So I'm curious what this movie is going to end up being. Now I'm not a huge fan of the first Practical Magic, but I do enjoy it. So I'm very interested in what this movie is going to bring to the table, and I'm very happy to see the return of Rizzo and the return of Diane Wesley. Forgive me, I call her Rizzo from Grease. I mean, she's just phenomenal in that movie. So happy to see them come back, and interested in seeing what's going to happen with this Practical Magic 2 movie. All right, moving on to our next movie news topic of the day. It looks like Guy Ritchie will be leaving the Roadhouse 2 sequel at Amazon MGM. Now there has been no reasoning as to what his leaving of the movie, but I have my theories. Now the first Roadhouse was supposed to be okay. Let me break it down for you. So the first Roadhouse movie with Jake Gyllenhaal was originally supposed to be streaming only if they paid a certain amount to Jake Gyllenhaal and the director with Guy Ritchie. Now they paid that money, and that was what the contract was signed. But Guy Ritchie wanted it to be released in theaters, even though that's not the deal that he signed and the deal that he agreed for. He agreed for more money up front for the movie not to be released in theaters, and he was very disappointed and sad that it wasn't released in theaters, and he was fighting for it. Now the problem is, how are you gonna fight for something when you got paid for something and you already knew it was gonna go to streaming service? So that's a whole back end issue with them in the studio. So I think his reason for leaving is they probably want this movie to again be straight to streaming, and he didn't want it this time. So that's my assumption, and that's my theory. Go ahead and take what I'm saying with a grain of salt, but again, it makes a lot of sense if that is the case. As far as Jake Gyllenhaal's concerned, it looks like he's staying on. I think he's contracted to return, so we'll see when we have updates on who's going to be taking over for Roadhouse 2 in the director's chair. Now, Roadhouse 1 I didn't think was the best movie because Roadhouse with Jake Gyllenhaal one. I don't think was the best movie because I didn't really like them. I didn't really like that Dalton wasn't already a bouncer. I wanted him to be the cooler and come in knowing what he's doing. So maybe that's what this movie is going to focus on, is where he's already a cooler. He's maybe working at other companies, or not other bars and stuff like that, and getting him back to, and we can get more of that cool swagger Dalton that we got in the original Roadhouse. But let me know what you guys think. Are you sad to see Guy Ritchie leave this project? Are you hoping we bring in a great director on his caliber to take over for Roadhouse 2? Let me know what you guys think. All right, and moving on to our last movie news topic of the day. Again, running straight through all these topics today, but that's fine. It looks like Netflix has announced that they are currently working on a solo leveling live action series coming to Netflix, starring, forgive me, again, I'm going to butcher his name, Soik. I guess he's an up and coming star in Korea. I'm not even sure if he is Korean, but he's an up and coming star, and he's going to be taking over the role of Jin Woo from Solo Leveling Game. Now, there's not a lot of details. They're currently trying to get things into production, so that's all we know so far. There's no exact details on a release or anything of that sort. Most of this article is just breaking down the animated series and what it's about and what we're going to be looking forward to for the series. But we do have a star, and this is going to be very interesting. Now, Netflix does okay anime adaptations. My problem with the Netflix anime adaptations is they go a little too fast. A good example would be the Yu Yu Hakusho one, where they just went through probably two arcs of the anime in one short season. While it was fun and entertaining, they could have done a lot more. So my hope is they don't do ridiculous, crazy, over the topness, kind of what they did there. They more ground it and kind of follow what the manga and follow what the anime is doing. Far Solo Leveling, it's a great story to be told, and it's very interesting what they could end up doing with this. And I think it'll be quite popular as they continue to develop and release it. And I'm hoping we get a couple seasons out of this, not just one, and they try to end it right away. There's a lot of interesting things to be told because it's very popular worldwide right now. And I'm very excited to see a Solo Leveling live action. But let me know what you guys think. Are you excited to see Solo Leveling live action come out for Netflix? And that does it. I'm gonna double check here. Yeah, that's a wrap for today's episode of the Truly Odd Podcast. If you liked what you see, please like and subscribe. Thank you guys for joining me today, and remember to always stay true, be odd.